My cute and lovely Virgos, this is your horoscope for 2025. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. And 2024 went so fast. I cannot believe how fast it was gone already. Now, 2025 will be one of the hugest years of our entire lifetime because all the planets, they will shift places, they will change signs, and also all the personal planets that are directly affecting us, like Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, they are directly affecting us through events, through people, through situations in our life. They will go retrograde. Now, all these things happen at the same year, and in the same year, it's very rare. We have such a powerful year, and we are lucky to live in this kind of year when we get to witness these things. It will be sort of a short clip, sort of preview of what's to come in 2026 and onwards, because all these heavy moving planets, like slow moving planets like Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn, they all gonna change signs, and they take like from 10 to 20 years to change one sign. So it seems like our whole vibration of the earth is also shifting, and of course personally your vibration, the topics of your life, everything is changing. What is your attention, where is your attention, and with what you're busy in your life, totally getting completely erased and building new with these movements of the planet. Now, 2025 sort of will be short clip. As I said, it will give us hints. All these planets, especially slow moving planets, because they also retrograde, they will dip back into the places where they've been for the last couple of years, but then this will be the last time when they will be there, and 2026 will be truly sort of a new era coming. But 25 will be rehearsal, sort of a rehearsal for all of us of what's to come. Now, the most important probably for you will be eclipses. Now, eclipses, they are rocket ships of the universe. Why rocket ships? Because their job is to bring situations, usually they happen suddenly, situations that are meant to be, that are destined to be, and that we are destined to be in that situation. They bring faster developments. They usually strip away some things that are already not necessary, that are not working in our life. So remember that when eclipses happen in your sign, which is the case of 2025, my dear Virgos, for you, it's about like making a space for something new. And it seems like universe thinks that you've already got a lot of things which are not necessary in your life, and now it's the cleanup time and building something new, something fresh, something more beautiful, more stable. Just remember that, because when eclipses happen, usually we don't like the changes that will bring these eclipses bring. But what you should like, the message from universe is that it's for your own benefit, my dear Virgos. Now, eclipses bring situations that are life-changing, once in a lifetime, big ones, like getting married, getting divorced, losing someone, losing some things, or winning a lottery, something which is like very huge that we remember for long years and possibly forever, something which changes like course of our life, direction of our life. Now, and when eclipses happen in our sign, it's the strongest and powerful ones. Now, January 29th, we have lunar nodes moving to your sign, my dear Virgos. Eclipses happen because of lunar nodes. Now, lunar nodes, what are they? They are two. They are like mathematical points, and they are two, and they are always opposite to each other, situated. So they affect simultaneously two signs every time, pair of signs, right? So this time, January 29th, they will change position into your sign and your opposite sign, Pisces. Now, yours and Pisces will be the heroes of next year and a half sort of story, because lunar nodes takes a year and a half to change sign. So they stay in pair of sign for a year and a half, transforming, changing the lives of those signs, and for you, North Node, there are two, as I said, North Node and South Node. North Node is a destiny node. South Node is a node of actually past and node of loss also. Now, North Node is going into your 7th house, and South Node is going into your sign, 1st house, my dear Virgos. And these are like angular houses. Now, these axes, like this line between 7 and 1st, is very sensitive in natal chart. It's about, it's one of the main axes. It's very sensitive because 1 and 1st and 4th and 10th, this axis is very sort of strong. that affect us, mainly on the main, let's say, areas of our lives. And for you, exactly, it's about me, myself, it's all about you. It's all about who you are at core, and in general, where you're headed. Like, what's your plans? What are your priorities? How you look? What you're showing to the world? What's your impression? Let's say, what kind of impression you leave to other people, in your body also, how, like, physical appearance. And seventh house is all about other people, all other people, especially those who are like who you with in committed relationship, meaning your wife or husband or long-term partner. Or it also can be those who are in business relation, with whom you sign contract, meaning your employee, for example, or manager, someone who you like, in a contractual relationship. This kind of seventh house, and nodes will be exactly in this angular houses, in this axis, my dear Virgos. Now, you might think back to 18 years ago, what was going on in your life, because similar things might happen. Nothing is exactly the same in life, but similar topics might be going on for the next year and a half in your life. So same things, like similar things happened back in 2007 and 2008. If you are at that age, you might recall, you might think back to those years. What was going on in your life? It might be that, for example, back then you got married, as an example, because eclipse is falling on your marriage house. Or back then you found your one and only, with whom you're in a committed relationship. And now after 18 years, you might getting a divorce, as an example. Or vice versa. You found someone, but you've been on and off, let's say, or even on all the time together, this relationship. But then after 18 years, now you will decide, actually, you also want to get married, like with that person, even though you've spent already 20 years with that person, like to make a celebration, to celebrate this unity, and to get wed and married in general. So you might want to throw a party, like wedding party, as an example. Another example can be that you, for example, found a job. Let's say you entered into contractual relationship with that company, with that person, with that client or business partner, whoever, whatever is your actually professional area. So you should translate it into your example. So back 18 years ago, so you found this person, you started a business, for example, or you start working in that company. And after now, like 18 years, you are quitting, or you are closing, or you are splitting, or you might invite another new partner. You might, I don't know, grow for the past 18 years within this company as becoming a CEO, for an example. So as an example, think back to like 18 years ago, what was going on in your life. So the similar topics might be happening. Now, in my case, when lunar nodes, I will give you example, like in my case, when lunar nodes, they were in my seventh house and first house, exactly same position. North node in my seventh house, south node in my first house. I graduated high school that time. And for me, sort of, I went to the bigger world. I took sort of responsibility. My priorities, my goals totally changed. You see, South Node was in my first house. And first house is all about priorities, is all about my plans, who am I at core. And South Node is a node of past, and also node of sort of letting go, it's about losing. So a lot of things that time for me already didn't make sense. What was before, super important as a high school student. So I sort of shed a lot of priorities, and I build new ones. And I start learning, let's say, how to build a relationship also, like falling in love. And these kind of things happen in my case when lunar nodes and eclipses happen. Because of lunar nodes, eclipses happen in my seventh and first house. Now, this is just an example for you guys. Now, since July 2023, these lunar nodes, they were in your financial houses, financial axis, And since 2023, like for the past a year and a half, your financial situation sort of changed a lot. And it seems like a lot of you guys changed work, especially you quit or you lost a job, because South Node, node of loss, is in your income house. Seems like you've changed your job. Maybe it was because of your decision, or it might be that you got fired, as an example. But whatever is happening because of these eclipses, always for the better, my dear Virgos. Just remember that. So in this case, your North Node, like Destiny Node, was for the last year and a half in your 8th house, house of money that comes to you from other people. Seems like your wife's or your husband's situation, for example, was better financially for the past a year and a half, and it was sort of balancing that you are unemployed, for example, or like sort of balancing this money issue from your side, like family budget, from your husband or wife side of this long-term partnership, let's say, or in terms of business partners too. You might have like found a business partner who will invest into your business idea, who invested actually, and you quit your 9 to 5 and you become an entrepreneur, as an example, together with your new business partner. Or it might be the case that your investments doubled in the past year and a half, and you quit your 9 to 5 job because now you start living off from your investment, as an example, into these coins or shares or wherever is that. So you made like great choices in the last couple of years, especially a year and a half, and your investments now become your main source of living, let's say, income. Also, 8th house is about conception, is about fertility. For the last a year and a half, some of you guys might have given birth or might have got pregnant, so that your values actually changed through South Node in your 2nd house. Some things were valuable, like your freedom, I don't know, movement, physical movement. But when you become pregnant, let's say, or when you gave birth, you sort of lost those values. For you now, valuable was the time spent with your kid, or sort of restricted became your time and your physical movement if you become pregnant for the last a year and a half, let's say. So these things might have shifted. There is always a balance there. And also, because you got pregnant, you went to maternity leave, as an example, or paternity leave. That's why you quit your job, right? You stopped working, and now you totally got busy with your new state of pregnancy, let's say. This was some of your guys' cases, as an example. And 8th house is also house of in general mystical things, psychology, and our psychological state, subconscious mind. Some of you guys, for the past year, you've been maybe in therapy, or sort of in rehab too, maybe. Because according to your 2nd house, again, your priorities shifted, what you value in life also shifted here. You might have experienced a new sense of life through your 8th house, as an example, or you've been to just these sessions or therapies. And also 8th house is 2nd house is about like big purchases and also sales. And some of you guys might have sold a house or a car so that you can invest into something else, as an example. Now, anyhow, this is very sensitive houses that lunar nodes are moving in on 29th of January. So for the next year and a half, you will be our heroes together with Pisces. Your life is totally getting upgraded. New sense of life. If a lot of things will be falling, don't be saddened, my dear Virgos. Everything is for better, because universe is holding your back. It wants you to actually push you from your comfort zone, so that you finally reach your destiny, like so that you start being active and you get to the point where you have to be, like the better point. The most important part is that it's the better, more shiny side of the life, my dear Virgos. So remember that. Now let's see what eclipses we have. Now we have 4 eclipses in 2025. 3 of them are amazing, super and powerful and strong. And the last one also strong, but the last one will be a bit of a bumpy one, but we will still have help there. Now we will get to that one. Let's start with the first one. March 14, we have a lunar eclipse in your 1st house, in your sign, my dear Virgos. After so many years with North Node in your 7th house and South Node, in your sign, we have eclipse here. Sudden positive surprises are due with this eclipse, because Uranus and Saturn will be working together at this eclipse. In a positive vibration, seems like some surprises are coming into your life, but those surprises will be positive, but they will also come with responsibility. And it's happening in your house. When eclipse happens in our sign, it can be anything. It can be any part of the life, depending on your situation, on your natal chart, on your birth chart, and on your life, I don't know, current, what's going on right now in your life, for example. And it can be related to any part of your life. When eclipse have in our sign, this is the strongest. For some of you guys, you might totally, change career, or some of you guys might move, or you might prioritize something else, or you drastically might change your appearance. How you look also might change here because it's a first house. Some of you guys might change your name or surname because again, it's a first house. Something, but it will come with responsibility. It seems like you will be sort of feeling quite responsible of what you're going to do, and you will be feeling very strong about it and very serious about it. But still, it might surprise everyone else too, and also you, my dear Virgos. Now, March 29th, we have second eclipse, solar one, in your financial house, 8th house. That is amazing eclipse. Now, 8th house is all about other people, money, like your husband or wife or committed partner in love or in business, like your business partner situation. Or it can be also money that comes from other governments and institutions like banks or bank loan or, I don't know, taxes, inheritance, investments, or scholarship, or also alimony. If you've been trying to incur an alimony from someone else, like from your ex-husband or ex-wife, this solar eclipse has the power to bring that alimony into your life. Seems like money will be coming in here to you, my dear Virgos, around 29th of March. And the scholarship, some of you guys might hear back from university, like admission to a university might happen here. Some of you guys might plan, let's say, applying for a loan, but then you end up getting even more money, like entitled more money. Bank might agree to give you extra money for a lower percentage, as an example, like interest rate, through the 8th house. Now, also, some of you guys, if your situation is about inheritance, you might inherit something here by the end of March, like officially. Maybe it's a property from your family or whoever might give you inheritance, leave you inheritance. 8th house is also conception. You might hear news that you're pregnant, or you might give birth around this solar eclipse. Amazing eclipse happening here. Now, 8th house is also about scholarships, as I said already, and taxes. If you've been applying and trying to change something, anything related to your tax return and in general taxation situation, something positive, like something very big news coming here around the solar eclipse. You might achieve whatever you set your mind to around your taxes, my dear Virgos. Now, September 7th, we have the most amazing lunar eclipse, the superb one, the best one, stellar one. I cannot stop describing this eclipse because it's such a positive one. In general, September will be by far the best month of 2025. It's exactly your birthday month, my dear Virgos. It will be the best month, believe me, of 2025. So if you have something important and which can wait, then postpone it until September. That's the month when you need to start everything, when you can launch any project, business, whatever is that, it will grow as flowers, my dear Virgos. Now, September 7th, we have a lunar eclipse in your 7th house, heavenly. Now, 7th house is all about committed relationships, committed partnership, love, place. A lot of you guys gonna get married around this eclipse, lunar eclipse. But remember that, eclipses, they active 6 months, like 3 months before, 3 months after. So some of you guys might get married beginning of August already as a manifestation of this lunar eclipse on September 7th. Even though it's happening September 7th, it's so influential, it's so strong, like it's a moon on steroids, So it's bigger. So you might get actually married in beginning of August, beginning of July. Starting from July, it will start affecting you, this perfect eclipse, until end of the year, almost December. So all of this month will be celebration. Seems like you might get married, you might get proposed here, or you might take your relationship a step further, like your committed relationship, even commit more, maybe move in. Maybe, I don't know, buy together a house. Something big is happening here in your marriage and in general a committed love life. And for some of you guys, it might be about business. It might be that you will forge an amazing contract here with the company that you wanted to work for, as an example. Or you might find an amazing, perfect business partner here for a lifetime who will help you out with everything. You might finally sign that contract that you've been wishing for a long time. This will be amazing eclipse to do so. Now, during this eclipse, we have Neptune, Pluto, Uranus at the 1 degree, in their respective signs. This is very, very rare. Once in a lifetime, like event happening here, astrologically speaking. They will have amazing communication, this trio. Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus. And, they are slow moving planets. They take from 10 to, I don't know, 20 years to change sign. And for them to come at 1 degree, all of them in their respective signs, it's one, I don't know, in a million chance, right? So, and it's happening in our lifetime. We should be amazingly, I don't know, crazy happy about this, because I cannot wait of this trio, what they might bring in terms of, this is will translate into world as well. Something positive is coming, but also in a personal level, together with this eclipse, they will have, this eclipse is extra powerful because of this karmic planets communication there. Amazing. I cannot just wait this September month. Now, September 21st, the last eclipse, which will be a bit of a bumpy, but no worries, because that trio that I said, Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus, will save. Anyhow, it has your back. It seems like you won't even feel this bumpy one. It's happening on your first degree. Those of you who are, born by the end of this Virgo period will feel the most this solar eclipse. Now, it's a solar eclipse, and Saturn Neptune will oppose that eclipse. Seems like there will be something about relationship. Something, again, you will need to sort out with your one and only. Some questions from the, I don't know, previous year might be hitting back. Something that you've been discussing, but you couldn't find any solution, let's say, it might hit back around this September 21st solar eclipse. But again, this karmic angel sort of planets will be, making this amazing agreement between each other at first degree, and they will have your back, my dear Virgo, so they will help you out. No worries on that. Seems like your marriage still will be saved. But let me tell you, those of you who has like marriage, like shaky ones already, something with that there's a crack, then, don't be surprised if eclipses come and destroy that relationship, because then universe thinks that it's not anymore working, and it's already excessive, and it's not serving you any good, and you need to move on. And if that happens, no need to be again depressed. Move on, and means like, you need to close the door, which is at the back, so that front door will open. Nothing will work miraculously there, but you should remember that the front door will be there. You just need to open it. But for that, you need to close the back one, right? So if something is falling there, like your marriage, my dear Virgos, no, don't be sad, because there is a front door. You need to enter there, and it's a more brighter future there. Now, let's talk about the slow-moving planets, because they all gonna move zodiac signs, shifting the energies, vibrations of the whole planet, and also our personal vibrations, because they affect us more on a spiritual, subconscious level, our spiritual growth level. First one, Neptune, March 30th. Neptune moves into your 8th house. And all these slow-moving karmic planets, they will show you sort of clip. They will show you sort of preview. They will give you hints of what's to come in 2026 and afterwards, because all these slow-moving planets, as I said, they take 10 to 20 years to change signs. So you see, the whole topic like of next 10 to 20 years is changing of your life in 2025, my dear Virgo. So take note. You are best at taking note. So if you have a pen and paper, so always try to reflect what's going on in your life. Now, first one will be Neptune, who will be hinting you from March until October 22nd in your 8th house. But it will retrograde. They will all retrograde back into those signs to finish up some things in 2026. January, Neptune will be back. And all of them will be back to to new areas of your life, and will be charging with energies. All your life perspectives is shifting, my dear Virgos. All of us will feel this in 2025. Now, Neptune will give you hints from March to October, and will be back in January. And Neptune for the next 14 years, by the way. Neptune takes 14 years to change sign. You see, Neptune was last 14 years. For the last 14, it was in your 7th house, house of marriage, house of love, and you've been probably seeing your one and only through pink colored glasses because Neptune is a magic planet, but also planet of illusions and delusions, I'm afraid so. And Neptune was giving you, from one perspective, amazing like marriage, sort of a romantic fairy tale type of marriage. But when Neptune leaves your 7th house, you will take off that pink glasses. You might see through actually whom you, let's say, devoted your heart and life. Seems like in true colors, you will see your partner. And it might be sort of a sobering experience might happen from March until October. So it will be giving you signals of what's to come in the next 14 years, beginning from January 2026. my dear Virgos. So take notes because it's extra important. For you, from another perspective, is the happy news because and Neptune and Saturn, they were both in your seventh house opposing your sun. So they were opposing your sun and giving a lot of situations related to your love life, which were at times confusing, which were hard to deal, which were like trials, which were could have been even lawsuits, a lot of things. But when both of them in 2025, they will move out from your seventh house into your eighth house, which is amazing. They will stop doing this opposition, one of the hardest aspects to your sun. And Neptune in your eighth house, until October, seems like will get busy with your finances. It will show you what's going to happen in the next 14 years about your investments. And here I would suggest you to exercise extra care all 14 years. You won't believe me. Maybe to hire a financial advisor. I don't know, someone who is proficient and in a place, to help you financially. Even if you are like professional, like a businessman, still you will need an advisor or good lawyer. Because with Neptune, everything will be foggy. Everything will be confusing. And at times, you might be even losing money without you knowing so. Neptune can do that. And also, eighth house is about investments. Extra care about your investments, my dear Virgos, where you invest, to whom you invest, because all of them might be fake, let's say, too. Because Neptune might give this kind of context, and eighth house about, but because Neptune is a magical planet, it's a planet of magic and inspiration, all the things that we cannot explain. It might be also about conception journey and fertility. Neptune here might give you babies, like getting pregnant, for example, miraculously. If that's your case, that you couldn't get pregnant and you've been trying, let's say, through non-traditional ways or even traditional ways, it doesn't matter. That wish will be granted if that's your case, as an example. And it might even happen between March and October, so that you will get to know what's to come in the next 14 years. Or like your specialist might find out something positive about the results, let's say, your medical results. For some of you guys, it will be about health also. Neptune is linked with flus, viruses, and in generally with poisons. So here, extra care. It's coming into your health house. Now, eighth house is all about health. So you should sort of, take good care of what you eat and what's your surrounding, what's your environment. As a Virgo sun, you are already extra care about your eating habits, about the quality of the food and the amount of the food and how you eat, what time you eat. It's amazing as, your qualities, your personal qualities. But here, when Neptune is there, take it even more to the more step about guarding your health in terms of these poisons, in terms of these viruses as well, because Neptune is all about that. Now, this will be your eighth house. Neptune will be firing up this your eighth house. And also, it's about all the money that come from financial institutions, like from banks or scholarship or alimony. Seems like these kind of topics will be important for you, whatever is your situation. For example, you might apply for a loan and you might get approved, as an example. But with Neptune there, you will need to check all the details, not even once, but double check, even triple check. Just as an advice. Now, as I said, Saturn will also move into your 8th house on May 25th. From May until September 1st, Saturn will be in your 8th house, giving you hints, giving you sort of preview. And also, you will need to note and write down what's going on in your life with Saturn in your 8th house, because Saturn is much harsher planet. Saturn is a strict teacher, is a strict mentor, and it's in your 8th house, coming to your 8th house. But Saturn has sort of shorter period of spending time in one sign, and it spends in one sign from 2 to 3 years, roughly speaking 3 years. And for the last 3 years, like since 2023, it was in your 7th house. Now, a lot of you guys got married, might have been, or got sort of responsibility for your relationship, because Saturn is about responsibility. And here it can be about marriage, especially Saturn rules your another love house, like falling in love. And, usually you are very responsible when it comes to relationships. You take it as a very responsibility thing. And Saturn here may have imposed actually a responsibility on you as a marriage, for example, as a moving in together also since 2023 with your one and only, like with your sweetheart in terms of love. In terms of business, it could have been that if you in 2023 you could have entered into business which is like a bound as a like a your daily job, for example. Maybe you made an agreement there with harsh actually rules, and because that agreement could have been with a lot of rules and limitations also, and quite heavy responsibilities, long working hours since 2023. And it also might have been not the, let's say, the one that you were happy about, to work with, especially with business partners or to whom you work, with whomever you have a contract, So translate it into your professional area. If you're in sales, maybe it's in your clients, I don't know. Whatever is that in services, then it's your clients, right? Could have been that something was not quite well there, by feeling, let's say. But now Saturn moves into your 8th house until 1st September on 25th of May, and it will give you a preview. Now, September will be back into your 8th house on February 2026 and will stay there until 2028. So, from May to September, Saturn will be sort of limiting, because Saturn, whatever it touches, makes it smaller, makes it limited. It will be limiting your 8th house, meaning a house of other people money. Like when Neptune comes in there, it's all like sort of pink glasses, right? That everything is possible and everything is perfect. But Saturn, first 3 years of that Neptune together with Saturn in your 8th house will have a sort of harsher impact. Saturn is sort of balancing here Neptune, giving you a lot of caution and giving you, let's say, more clear eye on things, more clear vision on things, and more coming to with responsibility, let's say, about money, about other people money, like your wife's money, family budget, your husband money, or your investors money, your shareholders money, or about your investments, where you're going to invest. You might stop actually investing for the next 3 years until 2028. You might actually completely, for example, you get disappointed in investments and you might decide that you will not invest into any shares, any coins, and you might think that this is risky and totally stop this sort of activities if you've been doing so, as an example. 8th house is also about health, and here Saturn might give you a bit of hard again lessons, because it's a 8th house, as I said. It's a health house. Take good care about your health, and in some cases Saturn might give you responsibility. You are, as I said, you are, as a Virgo, you are already very responsible about your well-being and physical state, but Saturn here comes in and check up, whoever were doing great, Saturn might reward you. Whoever were doing poor, Saturn will give you more lessons in your 8th house. Now, 8th house is also about inheritance. And here, in some cases, you might receive an inheritance. And of course, that's a liability and that's a responsibility, heavy one. And in some cases, there might be harsh conditions to that inheritance, like a bit not accessible, let's say. For 3 years, you might have even a lawsuit, as an example, for that investment to get it. Now, Uranus, another slow-moving planet, karmic planet, on July 7th, move into your 10th house. Now, 10th house is all about career. This is one of the best news for you, my dear Virgos. Now, Uranus will also give you short clips, hints of what's to come, sort of rehearsal, before it will stay in your 10th house for the next 7 years, because Uranus takes 7 years to change signs. So for the past 7 years, it was in your 9th house. Since 2018, 2019, you might track back, actually. You might think back and see what was going on in your life for the past 7 years in the area of foreigners, like foreign people, foreign lands, travels. You might have traveled a lot, quite surprisingly. You might have married a foreigner or someone who speaks different language, someone who's from different background, like cultural background, even if it's not language. Because Uranus, it's about shock. It's a shocking planet. It's a planet of surprises, both negative and positive. And it might have given you surprise travels, surprise relocation, like to far lands, somewhere where like you never experienced, but then like it was sort of cultural shock. This kind of things might have happened in the past 7 years, since 2018, 2019. or some shocking situations while you're traveling, some shocking situation in a place where you live, like relocated for a job or because you married, whatever is the reason. There might have been this kind of situations that Uranus was giving you in this area of your life for the past 7 years. As a ruler of your sixth house, it might have been mostly for work. You've relocated maybe not even one or two, maybe three countries for work, as an example, because your work sends you there, you live there 2 years, there 3 years, there another 4 years or another 2 years. This kind of thing, like a change of sceneries, was happening quite a lot. As a Virgo, you might adapt to these kind of things because you're a mutable sign, but still you prefer when it's everything stable. But anyhow, Uranus was sort of here giving you quite a lot of experiences, which is amazing, right? In the ninth house. The ninth house is also about education. For some of you guys, it might have been education case, the learning process. You might have learned a lot of things in the last 7 years. Like let's say you started in architecture and then you drop out and you went to, I don't know, to study military or whatever is that, like history or art, sort of shocking changes were happening there. And the ninth house is also a house of publishing books. Some of you guys might have published a book or an article, or if you're a researcher, then it's your work. And that work also, depending on your situation, might have been a success and might have been a failure in terms of like how that book was viewed, how that work was viewed and reviewed, like peer review and all the stuff. Now, religion. Ninth house is about religion, our beliefs, our convictions, like our mentality, and also search for meaning of life. Seems like with Uranus here, it greatly transformed in what you believe. For example, back 7 years ago, if you've been, I don't know, atheist, now you are, I don't know, Christian. As an example, just. But, it just, Uranus made it so diverse. It seems like you've completely transformed in what you believe and who you believe. I don't know, maybe you don't believe anything anymore right now. Something like totally drastically changed there around your belief system, my dear Virgos. Now, when Uranus moves on 7th of July into your 10th house, it will be shaking up your 10th house. Shaky, shaky, right, Virgos? Because Uranus is this kind of planet. It's a planet of shock. I love this planet, even though at times it can be quite shocking and surprising, but I love the positive surprises. It's all, it all depends on your natal chart and your life situation, what kind of surprises Uranus might bring into your life. Now, in 10th house is a career house, a house of the highest house of our chart, amazing house, the throne. Like when you sit and everybody looks at you, when everybody respects you, when you are influential to millions of people, let's say, when you have power to influence and in general, like very powerful person. So this kind of, place, this kind of house is natal chart, like 10th house. And Uranus coming there, it will give you quite a lot of surprises there too. You might surprisingly become a powerful person, or you might meet this kind of a lot of people who are powerful, who are, I don't know, for example, leading a very private and simple life, but in reality they are, I don't know, billionaires and they are ruling the world behind the scenes, as an example. Or you might be in this kind of circle of friends, like for example, Masons, as an example, some groups of that are actually powerful, but then nobody knows, for example. Or you might actually have sort of contacts with people who are famous to the whole world, vice versa. And you might become yourself that way. Uranus will give you plenty of chances in the next 7 years after 2026, when it goes back into your 10th house in April 2026, will give you sort of these opportunities and chances to shine, to become number one person in the world. And believe me, from July until November, you might want to write down what's going on in your life, because that will be Uranus's hints. Like it will be giving you sort of trailer of what's to come in the next 7 years. Now, 10th house is also house of father, someone who we respect and obey. And mostly it's our father or it's our manager. Some things will be going on, like crazy things will be going on in your father's life, as an example. They might, for example, get married, or they might have a baby, and it will be shocking, of course, situation to you. But at the same time, well, Uranus will be very active in their life, as an example, alternative, if you see that nothing's going on in your life. And also 10th house is about achievements, about prize, about nomination, title. You might all of a sudden wake up as a star, like become nominated or become a CEO or manager. Some title, might stick to you here. with this Uranus in your 10th house. And it will be quite, it might be quite shocking experiences, but in a positive side. This is amazing, news for you, my dear Virgos. Now let's talk about Pluto. Pluto also changed signs recently for the next 20 years because it's also karmic and slow-moving planet influencing us subtly, subconscious mindly, let's say. From 0 to 3 degrees only, it will move through Aquarius, newly found home. So if you have placement within 0 to 3 degrees in Aquarius, you will feel the most this Pluto because it's moving through your 6th house, now house of work, for the next 20 years. You see how this Uranus and Pluto, they will work together. Sort of Uranus is in your career house, Pluto is in your 6th house, work house. So these two karmic planets, they will bring you into power place. I feel that you will become number one, like most of Virgos will shine through in the next decade, my dear. Seems like these two planets are working hard behind the scenes to evolve you, sort of, to make the world discover you and put you to influential place. Now, Pluto from 0 to 3 degrees only will be moving through in 2025. And, Pluto being ruler of communication, seems like there will be powerful communication. You might even attract powerful with a lot of money, like clients, if you work in that sector, as an example. Professional area, whatever is your professional area, you will have a chance to attract someone powerful into your work. You might work with someone powerful, or you actually yourself might become, like, achieve this kind of place, which is, let's say, you might attain such a position or a job offer, which will bring a lot of money also, and also influence. Like, Pluto is masses of people, so you will get to decide the destiny and fate of masses of people, seems like. And some of you might also become powerful and rich, because Pluto is a huge money planet. It's a huge money. It's not small. And it's in your 6th house. You will have perfect chance to earn greatly in a decade, my dear Virgos, to make for yourself name. This is so amazing. I really wanted to tell you about this. Your chart is just beaming with CEO vibration. Your chart is just beaming with manager's vibration. Like, the next decade is yours in terms of career, in terms of status, in terms of reputation. Oh my God, it's just superb, my dear Virgos. So work hard now to gain the favor from these two planets. One in your career, second one in your work house. Now, sixth house is also about health. For some of you guys, Pluto might give you some health concerns. If that was something that is in your life, like something was bugging, and you, let's say, kept ignoring, or I don't know, being busy and not paying due attention to your health, Pluto will come in and knock on your door pretty harshly, and it seems like it will make you to go to specialists. It will make you to go to that doctor and to check up what's going on there. Also, more on a simple way, a lot of you guys might hit back gym, as an example. You might start minding actually how you spend your day, what's your physical appearance, and what's your physical well-being, let's say. You might start doing physical activities, whatever is that, maybe gym, maybe swimming, like on a daily basis. You might get quite disciplined in terms of your daily routine, because this house is about daily routine, what we do throughout the day. Now, Uranus in your 10th house, I forgot to tell you, is also about social status. Now, here, your social status is growing, my dear Virgos, through your work. Seems like, because your work is flourishing there, and your status is also more heavier. Everyone is listening to you. Everyone is trying to see what you want to say, trying to get from you advice, Seems like social status here, your social status is getting higher and higher and higher. For some of you, it will be vice versa, quite low drop, depending on your situation, what you've been doing for the past, 7 years, let's say. Because when Uranus hits your 10th house, it will check up who did the work and who did not. So it will reward accordingly, and of course, it will hit back. Now, 10th house is about social status in terms of like marriage too. Like, are you married? Are you employed? Are you, single, divorced? And Uranus will give you quite a lot of shakeups here in the next 7 years. Now, let's talk about personal planets, because they all gonna retrograde. As I said, it's also another rare thing to happen in 1 year, within 1 year. The personal planets, they're called personal planets because they affect us on a personal level, like directly into our life. through events, through people, through situations, and there we feel them the most. We feel them better, than those slow-moving planets that are affecting more subtly, more subconsciously. Now, Jupiter, Venus, and Mars, Mercury, of course, they're all gonna retrograde. Now, Venus will retrograde this year. And when Venus retrogrades, believe me, you might want to write down the dates, because when Venus retrogrades, it's not advisable to do plastic surgeries. It's a beauty planet. It's not advisable to get married, to sign marriage paper, and also whatever related to money, because Venus is money planet. Whatever contract you want to sign, don't do it during Venus retrogrades or getting married. This is, it's a love planet and it's weak. Everything can go wrong. And Venus will retrograde from March 2nd until April 13th. 40 days, 40 nights. You have to, stay calm. Joking, of course, but still, don't do those things which are Venus related. Now, we all love Venus when it's in our sign, because we shine, we feel confident, we feel that, and we have power to convince everyone into anything, and we are irresistible. Everyone is attracted to us. We are like a magnet. And also, it's amazing to know that period if you want to use it. So you will be irresistible from September 19th until October 13th, 2025, when Venus will be shining in your first house and making you shine too. Now, Venus in the 7th house, we love that too, because 7th house is a house of committed love partnerships, like marriage house, like your long-term partner love house. And in 7th house, Venus in 7th house, it will be from January 3rd until February 4th. And you will be one of the luckiest signs who will have this Venus second time in 1 year in your 7th house. Second time Venus will be in your 7th house will be from March 27th until April 30th. Double dip of love. Lucky you, my dear Virgos. You know why? Because Venus will be retrograding. That's why it will 2 times will dip into your 7th house. So beginning of the year is such a beautiful, amazing sort of a squishy, smoochy time with your one and only. And from end of March until whole April, it's again another sort of a pink rose colored time with your sweetheart, especially if you're married. And if you're not, then these 2 periods will be amazing to meet someone special, my dear Virgos. Now, Jupiter, a planet of luck. Let's see where is your luck in 2025. Completely forgot about it. Now, Jupiter is a planet of luck and abundance. On 9th of June, will change signs. And, first 6 months of 2025, your luck will be concentrated in your 10th house. You see, before this Uranus hits your 10th house in July, until June, Jupiter will be working with you, sort of expanding your mind, sort of trying, whatever Jupiter touch, it expands, it makes it bigger, and Jupiter will be working with you until Uranus comes in. Exactly like one after another, sort of amazing work of the universe. You see how the timing of the universe, it never fails to surprise me. Crazy. Now, Jupiter will be in your 10th house, trying to broaden your reach, your influence, your reputation. Will give you, because Jupiter is one of the amazing planets who gives everything for nothing, like not asking in return anything, sort of this kind of, just because it loves everything. Now, Jupiter in your 10th house will be active and will be giving you opportunities to make yourself a name, to shine through, to apply. So as much as possible, first half of the year, apply for higher positions, apply for jobs, to that dreamed, company, to that dream position. Whatever you were dreaming in terms of career, Jupiter will make it easier for you. So do it first 6 months, my dear Virgos. You still have whole 6 months to work with Jupiter in your 10th house. Now, it's also about social status. A lot of you guys will propose, will get married, get wed. Just remember about Venus retrograde dates. Don't marry that time. It's from March to April. Jupiter is like significator of marriage and significator of kids. And it's in your 10th house. You might also get pregnant. And Jupiter rules your house of family and real estate. Seems like you might get pregnant or have a baby, let's say. Get the news that you are becoming a parent, which will be amazing. Now, 4th house is also real estate, and here you might also buy some sort of real estate first 6 months. But when Jupiter moves after 9th of June into your 11th house, now Jupiter in your 11th house is exalted, my dear Virgos. What is exalted? Meaning it's working 200%, like not even 100. When planets, they are at home, like in their signs, they are working 100%. Just imagine like that. But when they are in exalted sign, they are working, I don't know, tenfold, like 200,000%. It's like they are showering their best characters. They are like so happy. I don't know. And this is Jupiter's happy place, your 11th house. All of us will have the happiest time with Jupiter in Cancer. That's your 11th house. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Now, when it moves into your 11th house from June onwards, next like half of the year, and it will stay until 2026 June, so it will have whole year there. But 2025, next second half, you might recall back to 12 years ago, back 2013, what was going on in your life, because Jupiter was exactly in your 11th house 12 years ago. Jupiter takes 12 years to make a circle. And you might check back, like you might think back what was going on in your life, what kind of situations, those things might happen. Again, nothing exactly same, but similar. For example, you got married and now you're having a baby, or you found someone, you met someone special then, but something happened and you didn't end up together, but now you're meeting that person again, as an example. Just as an example. So you might actually think now, but 11th house is more, related about friendships, about your social circle. And back in 2013, you might have experienced a lot of like a foreigners, foreign culture as your friends, as your social circle in your life. And that thing will be happening again, my dear Virgos. Or some amazing friend might enter your life for a long time. He will stay in your life, or someone who stayed in your life since 2013 now will have significant sort of life changes, positive life changes that you will witness. 11th house is also house of internet, social media, and if like 12 years ago you become popular, let's say over internet, online, social media, and this year you will be celebrating that as an example, or you might take it to the next level. You might become, I don't know, celebrity, not in your region only, but to the whole world, as an example. Or if you have a wish to become a celebrity online, this is your time, my dear Virgos, because Jupiter will be shining through your social media house. This is one of the amazing things that can happen, and this is your time, And nowadays, like, everyone wants to be, let's say, almost everyone wants to be like a creator or influencer, and you will have the bestest opportunity out of all of them, my dear Virgo. So go for it if that's your wish. 11th house is also a house of harvesting results, and Jupiter will bring you results for whatever you've been doing past 12 years. Because, 11th house is about like those results that come to you naturally, that you deserve. For example, kids, as an example, if you've been wishing for kids, like you've been doing like step by step, first like since 12 years ago, like working hard and establishing your financial situation, then finding like someone suitable for you as for marriage, let's say, your love, let's say, and then building your love relationship, and now will be the time when Jupiter will reward you with a kid, with a child, as an example again. Now, Mars will have unusual behavior in 2025 because it will retrograde. Now, Mars went retrograde back in 2024, and it will stay retrograde until February, meaning still will stay weak. And when planets retrograde, they are weak. They are sort of less capable, less helpful. Now, from January, I also want to tell you that in general, universe wants you to seems like focus on two areas of your life unusually long through Mars. You know why? Because Mars will be stuck between two houses, and it is already stuck since back September 2024 until June 2025. Seems like such a almost a year, like whole, I don't know, such a period, long period, and it will not move to any other signs except for two. So it seems like two areas of your life will be busiest. From January 6th to April 18th, it's your 11th house. Now, it seems like Mars here, before Jupiter goes in there, trying to tell you a lot of things, It's a lot of activities there. Seems like firing up your dreams. By the way, Jupiter is a luck, and 11th house is about wish, like dreams coming true. And Jupiter might give you your wish to come true, your wish that you hold dear to your heart for a long time, my dear Virgos. Amazing, severe position, and plus Jupiter is exalted in your 11th house. Seems like universe is always easy on delivering your wishes because you are the hardest working zodiac signs of the horoscope. One of them, my dear Virgos. Now, Mars will be prepping you for this Jupiter coming in June into your 11th house. Now, from January until April, Mars will be in your 11th house, firing up your wishes, your dreams. Seems like making you to go after your dreams, making some steps. If that's a like new position, then it will make you to apply to positions, to job offers, to I don't know, some. If that's a wish, having a baby, then it will also make you to like consider and read a lot about conception, about fertility journey, about what to eat, and in general, you might go to specialists and doctors. You might get busy around this area of your life. 11th house is also a house of social media, internet, popularity, and Mars here is firing up that your side of area of your life, and you might get busy about your social media. Like you might get preparing or actually opening Instagram page or TikTok page or whatever is that YouTube channel, podcast, something you will get quite busy around this area of your life. From April 18th until June 17th, Mars will fire up your 12th house. Now, 12th house is all about past, and it's all about hidden things, and it's about rest. Seems like until Jupiter comes in, from April until June, Mars will make you sort of might give you this desire to rest, to go to retreat, for example, like to go to some power sacred places, like religious places, is if that's your case. Or 12th house is also something to do behind the doors, like preparing something to the world. Like 12th house is where we sit and do the work meticulously for long hours alone in solitude, one place, like writing or researching or doing something like this, this kind of work. You might be preparing, something which some project before Jupiter hits your 11th house to present it to the whole world and to become popular and famous, because Jupiter is in your 11th house, gonna be after June. And before that, from April to June, seems like you will have this kind of solitude time. And also to travel far lands, you will have this kind of opportunity when Mars will be firing up your 12th house. Now, I would like to mention a couple of days which will be important, interesting in 2025. February 23rd, we have Neptune conjunct North Node. Now, Neptune is a magic planet, and it unites forces with Destiny Node in your house of marriage. It's a magical aspect, amazing transit, which happens very rare, extremely rare. You can't believe how rare it can happen. Last time it happened, it was 16th century. Can you imagine? It was 16th century, and February 23rd is set to be magical for you, my dear Virgos. If you plan something special, plan it to the end of February. So beautiful. Neptune is a planet of, this sort of inspiration, imagination, our romantic, and planet of magic, touch of magic happening to your destiny, which is in your love house, in your marriage house. For those of you who are married, seems like you will have magical moment here of a lifetime. You might get such a deep understanding of each other. And for those who are not married, you might actually get proposed or propose yourself. And it will be such a magical experience. Amazing one. This is a stellar day. You should know this day, my dear Virgos. For some of you guys who are not married and who are single, and if you say that I am all in business and I'm busy, it can be also about business relationship. You might forge once in a lifetime agreement with, I don't know, big client, big business person, I don't know, some investment. Could be whatever is that related to business, but it will be memorable. April 14th, we have Saturn also uniting force with your North Node and again in your 7th house. Amazing aspect. Now, Saturn is planet of restrictions and also responsibilities. But Saturn, when it unites forces with your North Node in your 7th house, sort of will make you a bit to wake up, make you sober, to make sober up, because this is also another rare aspect, because it also happens very rare. Last time it happened, it was 1877, almost 150 years ago, and when Saturn and North Node will conjunct together, they will unite forces. In around April, you might actually realize who is your love, in reality, who is your love person. You might see the true colors, a sort of wake up call. For some of you guys, it might be quite chilly period. For some of you, it might be wonderful, because then you will start appreciating that person even more. because you might take up some responsibility here. You might actually get married also here, because Saturn is planet of responsibilities, and it sort of rules your house of love too. And it might give you this courage actually to take responsibility for your relationship, to take your relationship further next step, like to move in or to have a baby or to get married, sort of this kind of thing. For some of you guys, it can be sort of a wake up call. You might realize that this person is not your person. So it all depends on your situation, my dear Virgos. Now, and the lastly, September 4th, Jupiter, planet of luck and abundance, which will be in your 11th house, house of wishes and dreams. Because your wishes are getting granted, my dear Virgos, will make amazing connection with North Node. Again, that destiny node in your 7th house. Such amazing. You have stellar sort of chart, my dear Virgos. Will have perfect, lovely aspect between each other, and in general, beginning of September, your birthday month, is amazing one. The best so far in 2025, because also we have that trio, Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, that I said before, at 1 degrees, they will be still active, also active during this Jupiter and North Node, sending to each other amazing vibrations. Seems like your wish is getting granted by September already for your birthday. So dream big, my dear Virgos, in 2025, because your birthday wishes seems like getting granted immediately. Not even a waiting time, not even a 1 day, not even a 1 minute. Seems like right there, right at that moment. So dream big, my dear Virgos, because Jupiter is in your dream houses and destiny node is in your house of love. Whatever you dream will be either related to your business or in general business relationship or work relationship, or either related to your love. It seems like you might want someone special into your life. If you wish to love to come into your life, it will be granted immediately, just so you know. So careful what you're gonna wish, but still I would suggest you dream big, my dear Virgos. 2025 is set to, serve your wishes on a golden platter. Now, this was your horoscope for 2025. And don't forget to check your rising sign, because most of the time, rising sign is the most influential. But sometimes it's sun sign and moon sign. So it all depends on the time you're born and place you're born. So you should check all three and compare which one affecting you the most. But I can guess that, after this horoscope, you would want to have a Virgo rising. Now, wish you perfect, amazing 2025, which will be that way. Wish you happy new year. Love you all. Bye bye.